people make the distinction of godly and not godly people. Clearly, these not godly people are prospering, and we're not. What we fail to believe is that it's all in your mind. We hear the battle starts with the mind. It really does, because we can say things out of our mouth and don't believe it, and think because we say it out of our mouth, it immediately resonates in our mind and says we really do believe it. But if you look at a situation as a mountain, something that cannot be moved, and that's how you view it, that's how you perceive it, that's exactly what it will be. But when you start to look at things and say, really, this isn't that big of a situation, and you address it and carry yourself as so, that really means that you don't see it as that mountain anymore. And that mountain starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller in your life and becomes more and more insignificant because you're not paying all that attention to it. You're not looking at it as the problem anymore. Just like the saying they say, don't look at the cup as being half empty, look at it as being half full. Does it change that the cup is only filled halfway? No, but it's your perception of that cup. And the problem is, somebody can look at a problem and say it's a problem and don't know how to address it, and the same person can have the same exact problem and see all the solutions or all the positive things in it. And you really have to reprogram your mind. When the word says that you have to renew your mind daily, think about that. Why is it daily? Because you're constantly battling against what's already programmed into your mind, whether it was what you were raised to believe. And God knows I was raised to believe some stuff that in my age of now, I'm sitting here constantly battling to get rid of those thoughts. I realized these thoughts have held me back. I've been afraid to try and do things out of, oh, that's demonic, or, oh, that's, you're seeking riches and wealth. That is of the devil, or, you're acting like, you have so much to give more than somebody else. That's bad. Whatever it is that you've been told, you have to renew your mind and understand my situation may be different for somebody else. What the Creator created me to do may be different from someone else. We need to find our own way, and that's why it's so crucial and important for you to really read this on your own and seek understanding. Seek understanding. Seek understanding. That requires an action to where you come across something that doesn't make sense. You do further research to understand it. You go to other sources, other people, whatever it takes for you to have a fulsome understanding versus somebody just dictating something to you. And if you see it as a mountain in your mind, it will be just that. Period. You could break down on the highway and just say, my life is over. My transportation, now I don't have money to get where I need to go. And somebody else could be like, you know what? This is another opportunity for me to get a better car. Just all how you perceive things. So take authority and recognize the negative thoughts in your mind. Always seek something positive in each situation. There's always something to learn, even in death. There's always something to learn. And when you are constantly pursuing the good, the lesson in every situation, you're going to be the one that continues to grow beyond that mountain that appears to be in your life. Another thing that I found interesting in the Word, it's always something interesting in the Word. If you go to 1 James 1 and 6, it says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. Verse 7, for let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. Verse 8, because a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Now here's the thing. How can you have faith, right, but then doubt the process? It says here, a double-minded, that's double-mindedness. We sit here, this piece of hair is driving me crazy. We sit here and say, I believe. That's what we say outwardly, but inwardly we're thinking this isn't going to work. That's double-mindedness. So you're defeating the purpose when your inner self is actually coming against what you've said outwardly. Those two things have to align. And that's why I said it is important for you to take authority first over your thoughts. It's no different than a hypocrite, right? Back in the day, that was you put on a mask and you perform.
A hypocrite.
Yes, but it was hypocrite back in the day. Yes, hypocrite. Thank you, honey. Hypocrite. But what is that? That's putting on a mask and putting on a performance. And that's what we do every single day of our life, or we can. Not everybody does that. Where when we're around certain people, we know how to turn off depression all of a sudden. And we're happy. And my life is grand. Matter of fact, you see a lot of that in social media. People's outward persona, right, is everything is going good in my life. And inwardly, they're depressed. They don't know what to do. They're lonely. They're having destructive behaviors that's not being shown outwardly. They think very little of themselves. And we've been programmed to do that. We've been programmed to just put on this outer appearance and make the world believe that we're okay. And that's really a double-minded person. I'm not saying that you shouldn't push past your emotions. If I'm having a bad day, I should just keep pushing until I make it a good day. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about when you are really two different people. Your public life is totally different from your private life. We have to learn how to walk in truth. In truth. And sometimes that's really hard to say, I'm struggling in this area. I'm not as secure as most people think. I'm not as smart, or I don't feel as confident. But walk in that truth and build towards it, because what you're doing is you're reaffirming the lie. That's what you're doing. When you're not walking in truth, you're reaffirming the lie, and you're wondering why you feel empty. You're wondering why no matter how many people are around you, how many things that you have acquired, you still don't feel complete. And that's because you're not walking in your truth. You're really a double-minded person. As a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And this is why you see people who appear to have everything. Let's talk about the celebrities, right? I think about Robin Williams, and I thought this man was just brilliant. He was a comedian, he was an actor, he was a very talented man. But this very man who had success and fame and all of these talents and gifts decided to take his own life. Think about that. And it was very, very, very sad to hear that, because he had so many more years and he had influenced so many people, and people didn't know that this man was battling inwards. And we've seen this play out time and time again, where we make various people our heroes based off of their public life, and we don't know what's going on private. And because he was torn with whatever he was going with, whether it was mental health, whether it was insecure, whatever it was, he was considered to be unstable, and it played out in what he chose to do with his life. And so you want to be very cognitive, right, of what is really plaguing you. Don't ignore it. Don't let it just keep building and festering and putting on layers of things, thinking all of these things that I acquire, that I gain, the people I'm around, the notoriety is going to change something. No, you just bury it. It's almost like a volcano. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and at some point it's going to erupt. You just don't know when. But it's going to happen. So it's better to deal with it at its small stages and be honest with yourself. Put that mirror in front of you and say, what is it about me that I would like to change? And start working towards that each and every day. That to me is good building blocks to faith. You got to first believe in yourself before you can believe in anything else. And if you don't believe in yourself, how is it possible for you to put so much faith or belief in everything else? It starts inwardly. The church, the body, the mind, it's all connected. And if you can't get inside taken care of, you're truly defeating the whole purpose of your existence. It starts at home, within. And that's where faith truly lies. What is it that you believe? What is it? Because whatever you believe, that's what's going to manifest. That's what it is. And that's your true self. Not saying like, oh, I know one day I'm going to be a millionaire. But you looking at your circumstances saying, I'm just a poor little girl. Nothing ever happened for me.
Yeah, we can talk faith all day. But we have to talk about, and you highlighted on it, about what is the hindrance to your faith. And first of all, it is fear. Sure. And we have to understand that what history has done to us is to cause so much inner fear within us to cause us to lack faith. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell anybody that you have to first get past fear before you can even tap into faith. We have seen, since we've been married, all the instances of overcoming the fear and tapping into faith. And then once you overcome the fear and you tap into faith, what's on the other side and how good that feels. Yeah. But you have to first get past the fear, because the fear is going to be there. Mm-hmm. The fear is going to be there in every circumstance that you face. The fear is going to be there. You talked about the mountain. If you're going to get over that mountaintop, you have to first look at how high that mountain is and say, hey, I got to climb over this mountain. If you don't face that fear and say, I have to climb over this mountain, you're never going to see the paradise on the other side. Mm-hmm. So I know you always talk about like, how do I do this? Or how do I overcome this? And tap into faith. First things first, no matter, I know you talked about a lot about belief. No matter what you believe, you have to step away from that and tap into first overcoming the fear within yourself. Right. There is an innate fear within many people that they go to other people looking to say, tell me why I have this fear inside of me. Mm-hmm. But most people are not going to be able to tell you that smallest mustard seed of fear that you have inside of yourself, but you have to seek the Father so he can tell you how to tap into that, why you have that fear, and overcome that. And on the other side of that is so many other things that is better for you, and the true you, like you said, the truth within you. So once you find the truth within you,
it will make you free.
Everything else is better for you. Everything is better for you. But what we have been taught over the years is faith is, oh, you get more money. Faith is, oh, you have a big car. A nice car. Fear is when you get a big house, and fear is, not faith.
Sounds like fear is when you get a big house.
Faith is when I say, sorry. Faith is when you have you get more money. Faith is when you have a bigger house, or faith is when you have the nice car and the nice wife and all this other stuff, which that's just something that don't worry about those things. First, you have people that tap into those things and get those things, money, cars and all this other stuff. Like you said, the Robin Williams, but on the other side, that fear and within the inside is still there. But you have the faith to get those things to become great on the outside, but the inner side of that cup and that platter is not clean. It's not clean. That's the faith that you need, because once you tap into that faith within yourself, oh my goodness, I can only tell you how great that is. Everything else comes with it. Mm-hmm. It's what good does it do to have all those things, but you still inside, you're dying each and every day. That's faith. Yep. That's faith. That's step number one. Overcome that fear. Stop letting people tell you, oh, if you don't do this, and oh, if you don't do that, you're never going to know God. That is not true. That is not true. You have to do this way. You have to do this that way. No, God created each and every person different to work together as brethren in love, in truth. That's it. So you first have to tap in within the love within yourself, overcome that fear within yourself, so we can all love each and everybody despite the differences that we have. That's number one. Overcome that fear. Did I miss something?
No, you didn't. And something you did say that was interesting is you said, you have to get with your Heavenly Father and find out. And a lot of people are uncomfortable just being in silence and by themselves. And a lot of times we're seeking all of these answers outwardly when the answer is within. I don't know how many times I've taken the time to just clear my thoughts, get rid of all the distractions, and be honest with what I'm dealing with, and not being afraid to sit there and be silent and think about it. And there's been plenty of times where I feel, for me, God has revealed that very answer. God has showed me, what's the root of the problem. And that's what we shouldn't be afraid of, which is to get to the root of the problem.
But the book of wisdom tells us that that's important, that we overlook it. I like to tell people that it's in the book, but I don't like to tell them where it's, because it should give you more, give you that ambition to go and seek it for yourself. Oh, he said it's in there. Where is it at? It says, whenever you want to, it says to go in secret, and your Father which is in secret will reward you. When you pray to your Father which is in secret, and he will reward you openly.
Yeah.
Go to that quiet place.
Go to the
pray to your Father. And he in the book too, it tells us, man, be wary of those people that want to pray out loud and oh, look at me, I'm praying for everything and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He says they're seeking the love of men, but the King says, go to your Father which is in secret, and your Father which seeth in secret will reward ye openly. That's important. That's an important key that so many people miss. And I see going, as we go out in the streets and everything, I see so many people come to somebody else, say, pray for me. Mm-hmm. What happened to praying for ourselves? What happened to just let me go into my home? I know I got my connection with the Father, and pray to my Father so he can help reward me for what I need, help me find righteousness and love and health and healing and all this other stuff. What happened to that?
Mm-hmm.
That's important. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, I was fine. I was listening to you.
It's important, and that's a key to, that will be probably the second key to overcome after fear. Don't be so fearful that you feel like you have to be amongst this crowd, and if you're not amongst this crowd, that you're not finding God. No, get away from the crowd, go to your Father, and what's the next step? Pray to your Father, and he'll start to change you from who you